Cool. Hey everybody, Dr. Orie Quinn here at Ozark Holistic Center. I want to kind of show you, we got someone on the table here that's suffering from plantar fasciitis, which plantar fasciitis is inflamed fascia of the bottom of the foot that kind of runs from the ball of the foot back to the heel of the foot. It's often felt like kind of right there at the base of the heel. Sometimes you'll get it across the back as well. So I kind of show you, this is a process that we go through that really is effective, but I always warn everybody at the beginning, like it really hurts a lot, because ultimately what's happened to this fascia and to some of these muscles is every day when you're walking on this foot, you actually break down this fascia and the muscles of the foot into the calf, and at night they're supposed to repair and heal up, which is the same kind of process of when you like work out and do those things. But if you're breaking them down a lot and you're not being able to heal or repair fast enough at night, as opposed to forming normal healthy muscle tissue and fascia tissue, you get scar tissue. And you get scar tissue, which is more of like a matted tissue like this, and then that creates an adhesion point that prevents the stress and strain of your body's weight from dispersing properly across the foot and the calf. And so you end up with anchoring points to these muscles and fascia that end up with way too much strain on them. And then you actually start aggravating the bone and the attachment points. And so the key to this process is to go through and release all that out, to actually like break it up so that they can repair and heal back again like they're supposed to. So short term, we actually end up having to cause kind of some more inflammation in these areas as we do that. Long term, they're able to repair properly, and then the whole thing can kind of calm down. So it is a little bit of a process. We go through a series of muscle tests or checks, which we've seen me do before with different videos, but in order to find exactly which all muscles are involved. Very crucial to this is the gastrocs, the soleus, and then the flexor muscles of the toes, which run across the bottom of the foot. So pull back for me. And it should be pretty obvious in this case, pull back, what muscles will hold. There we go, just like that. Gastroc is an extremely strong muscle. Pull back, she should have no problem kind of resisting me on this test. When we go to that lateral side of it, it just drops out right through there. So we're gonna end up releasing out down through here. Another check on this big toe, pull back. And on the toe, the flexor muscles, it's actually the medial or internal side through there, outside, pull back, holds okay. So we're gonna go through and do this. We use different little lotions, almost kind of like an icy hot kind of thing. Just be able to get in here and release all this out. And sometimes we'll even use what we call like scraping tools, sort of, as a way to just break up those adhesions. You can get away. These tools work really great, especially on some of that like superficial fascia and the first layers of those muscles. If it's deeper, a lot of times it's more hands-on or to break it up, but we have this lateral gastroc. And the interesting thing about these tools, if I actually have you come in slightly closer here to the actual calf itself. I don't know if you can see this here on this side because I'm working on this far side, but you'll work through areas and it will make no change. Like as I break, like slide across here, glide across here, no real change here. Where you actually hit adhesions or scar tissue, you can feel it, and you'll actually get this changing of going red, just like that. That redness will not stick around very long, really at all. Some of that depends on the tool itself. Some tools are a little bit more aggressive, some are a little not as aggressive. I like kind of using it in between, and with the ones I use, that won't stick around for super long, but that kind of lets me know, like, hey, we hit that. It's a matter of blood, and you're actually bringing kind of blood up to the surface. And in order to release that out. This can only be done every so often, to be honest. So you actually do spread these visits and appointments out, which people don't love because they're like, hey, I want to get rid of this, I want to get rid of this. I'm like, yeah, but the caveat is if you do this every single day, you're going to leave this so kind of aggravated that it's going to struggle to heal up in line with those muscle fibers like you want it to do. And like many a musculoskeletal injury, during this time, you have to be very careful of activity levels. Like we have, if someone is like running or jogging, you have them like back off of that. so you can actually give that muscle's repair, like time to repair, and that way you're not overexerting it and kind of going back into that same kind of scar tissue mode, of building scar tissue. Just like that. We're gonna do this enough, pull back, good, pull back. Just get to hold strong, and then move into the foot, medial side, similar thing. And everyone responds a little bit differently. The foot itself is usually what hurts the most. In fact, I'm actually going to, because of that response, kind of just use my fingers through here. And everyone's overall response through this process is different. Usually, by going through and breaking this up, we'll take away the immediate sharpness of the plantar fasciitis, but you will still be left with kind of an achiness, sometimes even for several days, as that's healing up. And the reason for the need for usually a handful of sessions on this is simply that we can't really break everything up all in one go, or if you do, you don't even know if you did. So you always have to come back and check and just kind of see how it's doing. If she came back and everything felt good and checked good and she was like, it's amazing, then we would that's where we would end. But I'm just telling you that most of the time it takes a couple times to get this to go. The last component, and this actually happens to be the second time we've done this, and this actually lets me feel how much of it is releasing out. And that's it. Like if you see her reacting, she's having to breathe. She's like, breathe, breathe. Okay. Other side of this too, which we're going to do here, is this actual calcaneus, which is the name of the bone right here that we call the heel bone. Part of this process, often part of this process, is that will have actually got jammed upwards and kind of shifted just slightly superior, which affects the actual range of motion of the ankle and the range of motion of the movement of the gastroc on the ankle through this Achilles tendon, and that will be part of two. It transfers too much pressure here, so we're actually going to release that calcaneus out as well. And this is one that you'll often, it's hard, it's tight, it will move, you will get an audible kind of, you can actually hear it shift, you can feel it shift, just like that. Just hold that for a second. But these are not fun for the person on the table. It sounds funny, but as a doctor, I really like kind of working on these because they really do respond. So it's something that you can pretty quickly make a big difference on. And that's always just neat to see. There we go. Cool. Pull back. Good. Okay. And this kind of shows you through that process of how we kind of work through plantar fasciitis, release the calf, release the foot, and we'll kind of keep you updated on how that goes.